John.
Marian,
How are you?
you never wrote? You never phoned all those weeks? Now, let's go home.
Mrs. Fowler's back.
Oh, yes.
John, we can't go home yet. I've got to talk to you, now. Could we go to your office?
There's a noisy meeting going on next door. The courtroom's empty.
All right.
She's probably come home to see her husband's triumph in the courtroom.
She's not that kind of woman.
You don't know that much about her.
She was very kind to me when Allison was still in the crisis, and very encouraging. She took me to the therapy room and showed me what can be done with accident cases these days.
Well, apparently her benevolence hasn't rubbed off on her husband because he's done very little to find out who hit Allison.
He's not a policeman. He explained that.
You're very understanding, Mrs. Carson. You know what I'd like to do is just drive right on past the hospital, take a nice long drive in the country.
Allison's had time to think. I think she'll see us.
Well, be careful. Don't set yourself up for another slap now.
Doctor?
Hello, Stephen.
Your assistant out on a coffee break or just out?
Well, I gave her the day off.
She earned it. Tell me, is she that dedicated when it comes to medicine?
If she were, we could all pack up and go fishing. Want to join me in some coffee?
No, thanks. I'm on duty.
Haven't you had enough for one day?
What about you, Doctor? Have you had enough?
I have a feeling we're back on the subject of my assistant again.
Mind if I get personal for a minute?
Well, you did once before on the same subject.
And you threw me for a 30-yard loss. I gather you've finally chosen sides.
Why? Because I contradicted Stella's testimony?
The way you contradicted it. First down, 10 to go. What are you going to do about Stella? Here at the hospital.
I don't know.
Are you thinking of firing her?
Well, I don't know. I doubt if she'll give me the opportunity.
Well, if she does, can I ask you not to use it?
Why?
If I were you, I'd want to drag her by the hair to the nearest exit, toss her out, and try to forget her. But I'm not you. I'm Rodney Harrington's lawyer. Now, if you give her the axe, it might just look like revenge. She blast him, you blast her, an eye for an eye. Yeah, I know. That's what a small town's all about. Somebody sneezes and everybody catches cold.
What if she doesn't come back to work for me?
Fine, that's her choice. She'll have to live with it, and maybe even explain it.
I wish it were that simple. I wish you could just push a button or turn a handle and open her up. But
there is a handle somewhere, Doctor. Let's just hope we can hold out long enough to find it.
you know, she was on the verge of becoming a human being. And then her father died. I was with her that night. I saw her close herself off and go back deep down inside that pack of lies that holds her together. I thought if I just had 5 more minutes with her, 5 minutes, she might tell me the truth about what happened that day with Rodney, the truth.
She might again, Doctor. She's not the ice lady she pretends to be. She's carrying enough pressure to drive a steam engine. And she's carrying it alone. Now, that kind of pressure builds and builds until it needs an escape valve, or you crack wide open. Now, sooner or later, Stella Chernak's gonna need one.
Oh, and I'm elected.
Well, you're the only candidate we have.
Steve, she works for me on a research project. It's an important project, and she does a good job. Now, somehow I can't see myself entering into some kind of a conspiracy against her. I think I owe her that much.
For her work?
For her work.
You're not easy to talk to.
Marian, the day you left, I said a lot of things. I didn't necessarily mean them.
But you wouldn't even listen to me.
I'd heard enough.
I had something to tell you. I wish you'd let me finish.
I got angry. You can understand that.
Well, it would have been done.
Marian, whatever was between you and Russ Gehring is in the past. I want to forget it. I want you to forget it. I want you to forget it.
John, you're not making it easier for me.
Do you think it's easy for me? You think that just because I'm willing to make an effort to save our marriage, I have no pride as a man? Maybe I misunderstood. Maybe you only came back to settle the terms for the divorce.
No. What I have to tell you has nothing to do with Russ Gehring, at least not in the way you think.
Then why didn't you get in touch with me? What else could be
John,
so terrible?
please listen, please. I was driving back on the beach road. I'd been to see Russ Gehring to tell him that whatever I thought I felt, I really didn't. I told him that I wouldn't see him again except in the hospital.
You told him you were through with the affair.
There never was an affair, just words. Thoughts. Thoughts and impulses. I was driving back from the beach, and the sun was in my eyes. I don't think I would have seen her anyway. My mind wasn't on my driving, it was on what I'd said, and us, our marriage. I didn't see her. I knew I'd hit something, but I thought it was a rock or a small animal.
Allison Mackenzie.
Yes.
You didn't stop.
I saw a man walking up from the dunes. I knew she'd be taken care of.
You didn't even stop.
No, I didn't even stop. I have no excuse. There just isn't one. I did it. I ran because I was scared.
Why didn't you come to me? Why didn't you tell me about it right away?
I would have had to explain to you where I'd been. I would have had to tell you about Russ Gehring.
You could have made me understand.
I could. When I finally got around to telling you, I'd let you stop me. I thought of so many reasons not to tell you. You were respected here. You were just starting on the Harrington case, and it meant so much to you.
The woman who called from San Francisco.
They did tell you.
I was there when Sergeant Goddard traced the call. I told him to close the books on the case. We'd never find her.
I thought if I got far enough away that I could forget. I couldn't forget. I just couldn't.
It was right there in front of me, and I never put it together. Maybe I didn't want to. Does anyone else know about it?
I told Russ Gehring right after it happened. It's all we really ever shared. My guilt.
You'll have to tell the police.
I know. I'm ready. That wasn't the part I dreaded.
You were more afraid of telling me?
Yes.
I'm your husband.
The poised, perfect Marian never would have done this to you. I found out something. She never really existed. Is the Harrington trial over?
No, it's not over. It may be far from over now.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
I can't believe Fowler didn't know anything about it. If he did, and I can prove it, I'll get him.
I need Kim on that stand again to get at the truth.
I'm going to hold you personally responsible for anything that happens to her.
I've got to talk to you.